This man can effortlessly face the magical challenge of 150 opponents all by himself. He is Professor Deculion. Just moments ago, Professor Deculion happened upon Professor Reeling, who was questioning the venue arrangements for the Commoners Club. Professor Deculion calmly yet assertively stated his position. This arrangement was made with his permission and there is no need to seek approval from others. The students were surprised by this unexpected scene. In fact, Professor Deculion had been hastily urged to come to school by his younger sister, Uriel, earlier that morning. He encountered trouble as soon as he arrived at work and had broken out in quite a sweat along the way. It was clear that his emotions were already at a critical point. Professor Reeling hurriedly explained that he did not intend to make things difficult. He simply felt that the magicians at the Imperial Royal University's Magic Tower deserved more advanced magical equipment and furnishings, rather than these rudimentary facilities. I assure the Chief Professor that I will personally see to the replacement of superior magical equipment and furnishings. Deculion nodded appreciatively. As expected of Professor Reeling, you are indeed kind-hearted. These facilities do appear rather outdated. Before leaving, he cast a meaningful glance at another professor nearby, causing the latter to shudder involuntarily. Those who act just like cockroaches will always behave like cockroaches. After leaving these words behind, Deculion turned and departed, leaving that professor glaring viciously at his retreating figure. In class, the students whispered among themselves, "It's been a while since we last had Professor Deculion's lecture. He just returned from Bircht. I heard there was a major incident there. Apparently, the train he was on had an accident, and witnesses claim the whole train actually took flight." Deculion motioned for everyone to quiet down and announced today's topic: pure elements and magical interference. Magical interference refers to the phenomenon in which a mage's constructed spell is obstructed by others. Before delving into the basics, he first presented a warm-up question. Deculion snapped his fingers lightly, and several magic stones appeared floating before him. Then, countless magic stones materialized in front of the students. This spectacle left the students dumbfounded, with only Sylvia remaining unperturbed, while Ephraim was visibly astonished. Each of these magic stones averages a value of 3,000. I will maintain their state. You may attempt to seize them using telekinetic magic. Whoever succeeds will keep the stone. At this, Ephraim screamed excitedly and slapped the table, and her friend Julia hurriedly restrained her from such an outburst. Deculion emphasized, for a magician, interference and defense are equally important. Although the defender holds the advantage, you should still attempt to break through. The students immediately began to cast their telekinetic spells. There was deeper meaning behind Deculion's choice of exercise. After using telekinetic magic to levitate a train in Birch last time, he now needed more practice to refine this skill. He was also curious as to what extent he could withstand interference from 150 mages simultaneously, especially since 2 of them were exceptionally talented students. Ephraim gave it her all. The costly magical materials had nearly depleted the grant she received last time. This opportunity was truly rare for her. Sylvia recalled that Deculion had previously mentioned Ephraim was self-taught in magic, and was determined not to fall behind. Some students began to suffer nosebleeds, while others' hands trembled, yet they persisted. Alan marveled inwardly at Professor Deculion's prowess. He could contend with 150 people at once without a single flaw, and the students simply could not break through his defenses. Deculion himself was surprised. He hadn't expected that even when pushed to their limits, the students would still struggle to take a magic stone. Suddenly, the first magic stone was taken, and Deculion turned toward that direction. Sylvia had succeeded. Ephraim became visibly nervous, while Sylvia seemed visibly relieved. "You are the first," Deculion said to Sylvia. Sylvia simply nodded silently. Deculion was not surprised by Sylvia's success, but he did feel somewhat disappointed by the performance of the other students. Just as he was about to announce the end of the warm-up, another person succeeded. Ephraim had also obtained a magic stone. Seeing this, a complex expression surfaced on Sylvia's face.